Hello and welcome to today's episode of Stimulus Chaos. We have a lot going on with the $2,000 stimulus checks. We have some really good news with the $600 stimulus checks. We got comments from Pelosi, comments and revisions from McConnell. It's all over the place. So let's cover everything you need to know. So McConnell responded to the $2,000 stimulus checks last night with an entirely new proposal attaching on things that he wants to see passed as well. McConnell first said no to the unanimous passing of the $2,000 stimulus check amendment, and then later in the evening unveiled his very own proposal. So his proposal contained three key issues. First being the $2,000 stimulus checks that just about everyone wants. Most Democratic members of Congress wants this stimulus check. Some Republican members want this. The president wants this. Pelosi wants this. Just about all the people want this. The $2,000 stimulus check is within this proposal, but then he added some other things that were kind of like, we'll see if this passes. The likelihood sinks. So the other items are he would want to establish a commission to investigate the 2020 elections for election fraud, an issue that President Trump really wants to see attended to. And also in the same bill, he wants to repeal a law known as Section 230, which protects social media companies from lawsuits over content posted by their users. Now, most comments on this bill are it's not going to go anywhere in the House, and just about no Democratic lawmakers are going to say yes to this. Now, there are many Republican lawmakers who are for this because, it addresses some other issues, and many people are already for that $2,000 check because so many people like it. You're basically going to be in the public favor if you like this, and you're not going to be in McConnell's place where, if you went on social media last night, it was pretty much filled with McConnell memes disliking him, making him into different characters and things like that. I wouldn't want to be in McConnell's shoes right now with the amount of hate he's receiving from his decisions. And you go against the American people and what just about everyone wants. What do you expect? So, like I said, these issues are all issues that President Trump wanted to see addressed, kind of packaged into one small bill. Why they always need to package multiple things into a bill? Well, I guess it's just politics. They don't want to vote on individual things because something might pass that they don't like. But if they bundle things together, they're like, well, I don't like this, I like this. At least, I kind of get my way. That's American politics. So after all this last night, Pelosi this morning had a press conference where she addressed plans for 2021 with the House and where we're at with the $2,000 stimulus check. Now, this meeting gave us some insight, but not quite as much as we had hoped. She started off by just kind of throwing some jabs at Republicans for not understanding the suffering happening right now, the suffering of the people. And she was asked what she would do if the $2,000 checks weren't passed this week. She says that, first off, we're going to stay positive and do everything we can to get them passed this week. But if they don't get passed this week, they're going to keep on fighting next week and still work on getting these passed. Now, I'm not sure exactly what tax implications there are going to be if this gets passed in the new year, because remember, all these stimulus checks are kind of attached to your 2019 taxes for who's able to qualify, but they're considered a rebate on your 2020 taxes. So then will this push this to 2021? There's a lot of kind of confusing things here if something doesn't get passed before the new year that would ultimately need to be solved. Obviously, it's still possible to solve something like this either way, but it makes it even more complex. And the last thing we need is for all of this to be even more complex. So she says we're going to keep fighting. And she also says that there's bipartisan support for the $2,000 checks. We already know that the House passed this with flying colors. And they're saying that the Senate would likely pass this as well. They're saying the Senate would have 60 votes, the necessary 60 votes to get a deal passed. But we need McConnell to put this on the floor to get it passed. This is just a really frustrating part of the legislative system we have here in the United States, where one person gets to decide whether either the Senate or the House, Pelosi also gets to decide for the House, whether a bill gets voted on or not. It just seems to me like it goes completely against the system of checks and balances, and I think that this is something that should be addressed, but will it? Probably not, because it would have to be passed by the very people who have this control, and why would they ever give themselves less power? So it's ridiculous. So Pelosi went on. She didn't actually comment on McConnell's bill with the Section 230 for social media companies and the election fraud. Now, I don't know if this is her just like kind of ignoring it, like this isn't going to happen, there's no way this is going to be voted in, or she's waiting to talk more about it later, waiting to get more information. We don't really know. We can kind of just speculate. But like I said earlier, just about everyone is saying there's no way this will get passed by Democrats. So I think it's probably the first where she's like, there's no way. It's not going to pass. Let's just focus on just getting those $2,000 checks. And I think that's how it should be done, one item at a time. Let's vote on one item at a time, get it passed, and also give lawmakers time to read bills. There should be some law in place where if a bill is proposed, there's like a 2-week waiting period that gives lawmakers enough time to actually comb through it and know what they're voting yes or no on. And they don't just have to go off of the pressure of their leaders. So there's a lot of ridiculous things here in the system. So now we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in the Senate today, and if Senator Sanders holds up the veto vote like he had promised. That's going to be really interesting later on this afternoon or possibly evening. And that's going to do it for the most up-to-date information on the $2,000 check. I'm going to be sure to keep you updated on it. If anything else significant happens, make sure you subscribe and also like this video if you enjoy the frequent updates and doing my best to get this information out there as quickly as possible. But before we go, let's end off with some good news. The very first people have received their $600 stimulus checks, believe it or not, faster than even Mnuchin expected last week. So yesterday, Mnuchin tweeted, payments may begin to arrive in some accounts by direct deposits as early as tonight, meaning yesterday night, and will continue into next week. And that actually wasn't just wishful thinking. Some people have actually received these payments. People I know have received these payments, and I've received 3 or 4 messages by now that said, hey, this is pending in my account already, and this just got passed the other day. So that's wonderful news for anyone who receives the electronic stimulus payment. Now, we haven't received any updates on how the mailing of the checks is going to exactly work. We know that they're going to start mailing them the week of the 11th of January, but that only gives them 1 week to mail out payments before that January 15th deadline as of right now, which would mean if it wasn't mailed out by the 15th, then you're going to have to claim it as a rebate on your 2020 taxes, and it's going to be months and months of delay. So I'm still hoping to see some update there, or maybe an extra 3-4 week buffer window so they can mail out all those checks to everyone who is waiting on those checks. Luckily, the first checks to be mailed out as well will be the lowest income earners, so those people will be secured. But the IRS says they can only mail out 5 to 7 million checks per week, so that's a major issue that I hope to see addressed very soon as well. And then after this, Mnuchin also tweeted out that you're going to be able to check on the status of your payments later this week as well. And you'll be able to do that at irs.gov/getmypayment. Same portal as we used last time. You'll be able to see the exact status of your payment if there's any issues, see where you're at. So that's going to do it for today. Check out the link in my description for Webull to get 4 completely free stocks. There's only a couple days left of this deal, so make sure you take advantage of that. Right now, if you want to get 4 stocks, it will go down in just like 2 days, so make sure you do that. Check out the link also in my description for my Teachable course on how to start and run a profitable moving company. I'm really proud of that and the results so far, and all the students who've had some success with it. It's awesome. And yeah, that's going to do it. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.